Let's call the meeting to order. First thing we have,
Chairman Listening.
Alderman Singstein.
Move approval of minutes of this meeting of the committee on August 28, 2012, September 4th, 2012, and September 18, 2012.
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Carries. Okay, then we have Danny's Lounge, Daniel Sivey. I know I say that wrong every single time.
Good evening, Chair.
Evening.
Shopleski, this is Attorney Vincent Bobbitt appearing on behalf of Danny's Lounge, and to my right is the owner, Danny Say, who is also the licensee.
Okay, now you were given the summons complaint.
That's correct. I acknowledge receipt, and we would deny that.
That is true then. So, okay, so then we have to set a date. We are pretty much in agreement that we're going to set it, oh, you're going to be gone, that we're going to do it all in one day instead of having numerous meetings in the evening.
I think we had discussed, Chairman, that given the council is going to be out of town for
Yes.
a time framework, that and it's not, most of us are available during the day. There were a couple of dates that we're thinking of. I can't recall what they were, but I think we're going into sometime in the middle of October.
Yes, I had an earlier conversation with Assistant City Attorney Jenna Merton, and we've come across some dates subject to your approval. And then I also advised her that my client had some things that he wanted you to consider, and then I anticipate in the near future speaking with Merce Martin to see if that's acceptable to the City of West Allis.
Okay, but did we want to set a date this evening for the,
Why don't we set a date and I will talk to him in the meantime and see if we can work on an offer,
Okay.
a resolution.
What dates do we have?
We have October 29th, November 8th, or November 9th. I don't know if any of those dates work for you.
what day is it, 29th?
29th is a Monday, the 8th is a Thursday, and the 9th is a Friday.
October 29th is fine with me, Chairman.
Me too.
Okay.
Would be fine.
Okay.
What time would that be again?
How about you?
8 o'clock in the morning or 7 o'clock?
Whatever time you prefer.
6:30.
I'll be available
I'll get up
6:30.
at 5.
8 o'clock?
8 o'clock would be fine with me.
And
Okay.
it'll be at this location,
Probably in room 128? Yeah,
room 128.
yeah.
That's all right with you?
Yes.
Okay,
Thank you so much.
okay. Then we'll just hold this. Okay. And this. Okay, Ted Diarna, I'm sure killing that.
Dorinda,
Duranda.
It's Thaddeus during the,
Bernie Gallus,
Are they here? Well, Ted, from
Chairman,
building
I
inspection?
believe Mr. Dorinda will not be here tonight.
Oh, okay, I didn't get in.
He's communicated that he's, when he found out from the clerk's office, as well as from myself, that he was going to be out of town. And he emailed to me yesterday that the issue at hand is a mobile home park. We've had orders regarding a sump pit sanitary pump that is necessary for the park. He was here before you in March, I believe, of this year, at least on the agenda in April, and said he would have it done soon thereafter.
2 weeks, I believe.
Something like that, and he suggested he would have it taken care of. He had some other issues, some other problems that I worked with him on that delayed maybe getting this sump installed properly, followed by some other things that we worked with him. He did get an electrical permit, 2 weeks turned into 2 months, now it's 5 months and stuff. He still hasn't complied with the order or the direction. His email does suggest that he's having problems with contractors, and he'll have it done in, well, he didn't say 2 weeks, but if he can't get it done by next week, he'll have it done by the end of October. My communication says I would suggest that we move for revocation of that said license. Although I see he's going to get it done, but it's how long it's been. 2010 that we started on this issue, and this would be the last thing to get done. It's not that it's unsanitary right now, but it could, with electrical failure, what's the problem is he has this mini sewer system connected to a trailer, a mobile home, it's electrical service. He has to have a separate service brought in for that operation of 2 pumps that have fancy bells and whistles that go off when it's in failure. I don't know how much it costs to get it done. He does have an electrical contractor online with the permit issued. Plumbing contractor, we're not aware of who it is. I guess for one more time, maybe put it off for the first meeting in November.
November?
No, October.
Well, he said he'd have it done by the end of October.
Well, he also said he'd have it done in 2
May.
weeks.
That's true.
So,
Last April.
Well, what about the committee meeting the end of October?
That would be fine.
Maybe with the 3rd or 4th week?
I would say that's fine.
How about that, Mickey?
Okay, you just want to hold it till then? Fine?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman,
All in
and this
row.
is to be completed by the end of October, not another excuse saying, you know, like he's been stringing us along, because he had told you October 3rd at one point, right?
In this recent email, he does suggest if the current plumbing contractor can do it, he would have it done by next week, October 3rd.
Read that,
5th.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
if I could ask
Hold on,
the city
things time.
attorney's office to be in a position to provide us with options that, in terms of fines, and what provisions of our municipal code we can cite him under, the costliness of that, so that if he does appear, he's cognizant of the fact this is what's going to cost him for failure to comply.
I know Mr. Duran has already been in court on building code violations, so I think he has somewhat of an idea, but I can make sure, I'll make a note of the file.
But for my own personal knowledge, I'd like to know that as well.
Okay.
Okay.
Clerk's office let him know about that and with a little note.
Got that, Ann?
They
Okay.
expect it to be done.
Thank you, Ted.
I'll wait for your item 5.
Okay. Next, we have Jamal Rahman. Hi. Okay, you applied for a second-hand dealer's license for the 5701 National, the computer store,
Correct.
where you
yeah.
want to buy computers and that. Now, my understanding is a problem with zoning,
Yeah,
that you cannot have that type of business in that area.
exactly.
And so have you talked to the city planner on the zoning issue?
Yeah, I've been in contact with the zoning, and they had advised me just to put an application in, and they were gonna work on it, or, you know, and they said, just put the application in, and then we'll go from there. And then the next thing I knew, got this in the mail to show up here.
Well, we discussed that at our last meeting, and I guess the zoning thing is not an easy issue. And so we can't okay this license, obviously the way it sits, until after all the zoning is finished,
Sure.
if there's going to be any changes, you know, at all. So, Ted, did you have anything on this one?
Just to reiterate a little bit, secondhand dealers are only permitted out on the C4 district. It would take a revamping of our zoning code to go back to what it used to be. C2 zoning permit secondhand dealers. I'm not sure if we want to go backwards in time.
Yeah. And spot zoning is illegal, correct?
Right, we couldn't do a C4 over on that side of town. The planning is looking at maybe trying to find something to put in the books that would be palatable to the alderpersons that would allow some sales of used, 25%, is it of their gross sales? Scott Post has said, no, you don't want to go there.
Yeah, well, somebody's got to monitor that then.
25% of the area of a building, that's a little bit easier to manage, but again, we'd have to come back to you. It's going to be a long dialogue between planning and trying to come up with something for the alderperson. If I may suggest, we shouldn't have allowed the license, if we, because this is going to be 2 months, 6 months. It may be that we wait to return the license fee and keep in contact with it.
Okay, instead of just holding on hold, all of these things done.
I would think, in going down the road that Mr. Atkinson was looking to, I don't know if the council would be in favor of rezoning. There's just so much that has to be done, and there's input from the neighbors. There were reasons why we did restrict this type of usage to a different part of the city, and to change it back, I'm not so sure that's what the city wants to do. Maybe going in a different direction than what we were going at the time. So, we permitted the application to come in, or at least the usage what he has, and we want to expand it. Is that what it is, Ted?
Yeah,
He has current occupancy.
Yeah, right.
For computer sales.
But it just wants to expand into this other usage, and I don't think we want to do that.
You may be able to, as an option, you could find a current address that has secondhand dealer's license that is grandfathered and then could be up and doing that at that location. So it's not permitted for any new locations, existing are grandfathered.
okay. So, I think we make a motion to place it on file and return the fee to him, so. Do I have a second? Do I have a second?
I'll second, but I,
Oh, okay. Ellen Weigel.
I guess I'm trying to get a grasp of what's going on here. You're currently in business, and you're currently repairing computers.
Right, yeah.
And repairing cell phones?
Cell phone and computer repair, and we're pretty much just looking to add the ability to buy broken computers for parts to resell, refurbish.
And I guess the concern is, one of my concerns would be that people be bringing in a laptop computer to sell it to you, essentially the same transaction that would go on at a pawn shop. Are you familiar with the pawn rules that we have as far as this computerized Nooper system and the ideas of how all that works, as far as people bringing in have to show an ID, then you have to
Right.
hold it for a certain period of time?
Yeah,
I'm familiar with all that.
I
but-
read all the laws, I'm familiar with them.
Okay.
And I understand how it works, so that's why I'm applying for the secondhand article license.
Okay, and how important, you're leasing the space, I assume?
Yeah.
And you don't have a month-to-month, you probably have an annual term?
Yeah, it's a long-term
Okay.
lease.
And how important is this selling of repaired items to you and
It's
your
pretty
business plan?
important because it's kind of a standard in the business. It's a common practice, and a lot of competitors do it, and all you hear nowadays is we buy your old computers. It's a big business. I mean,
Yeah.
it's pretty important.
And you think it's likely you could afford to open a second location, just to, as Mr. Atkinson suggested, maybe find an existing location that has the correct license, and then essentially take over that business? I mean, is that a viable opportunity for you, do you think?
It's something I'd have to think about. I mean, it obviously costs a lot of money.
Yeah,
It's
okay.
not
Okay,
something you just jump on,
yeah.
Yeah, do you understand what we're gonna do here?
Yeah, I
Just
understand.
because instead of just having us hang there for all these months while this happens, we'll just end this, and then you can reapply after the.
Yeah, because it would, if the council were to change the zoning, it would take a very long time. You're not
Sure.
gonna find a quick solution to
Okay.
that, so.
Yeah.
Okay, is there any further discussion? Let's place and file and return the fee to this gentleman. All in favor? Aye. Anybody opposed? Motion carries. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Raimondo Ramos, Jr. Good evening again. Okay, you're back here again because of me. See, one of the things where your place is located in 59th and National is, or going to be located, I live right down there and by there all the time, and I had 2 meetings in the area a few weeks ago, and, ever since we took the second dealers away from Luna, the place pretty much was closed, and then all of a sudden I see it open, I see all the signs, we buy gold, the TV's back on, we buy gold, and I'm wondering what's going on here. contacted Ted Atkinson Building Inspection. He says he didn't give you a occupancy permit, or temporary or conditional, I'm sorry. And so I checked with the police department, said what's going on, and they went down there and checked. And then next thing I know in talking to Ted is that you're thinking about keeping the name. Now, maybe there's misunderstanding between it, but I think some people on this committee voted, in favor just simply because you were changing the name. And so I understand if you, why you went, because the Yellow Pages came out with their name in it, but still, we'll feel better if it's not. And then I don't know why he's operating. Are you there? Is he teaching you anything, or it was just him, or?
Well, the agreement was that we're not gonna change anything over. It's still his business until October 1st. So until October 1st, you will continue to see his car there. He's still there, doing repairs and getting out, whatever business he was conducting. I don't believe he was buying gold.
Mm-hmm.
But, yeah, until October 1st, that's when the official changeover will happen. All the signs will come down. But you said that, he was out of business and then back.
Well, no, it was closed.
Because,
It's pretty much closed. Every time I drove by, it was closed. And then all of a sudden I see him back there, and that's what alerted me, and that's what caused this all with the, when I'm hearing about the changing the name and everything. And that's why we voted for reconsideration last week in council, and now, to come back in front of us. So you're saying you are definitely changing the name?
absolutely, yeah.
And you take over as of October 1st?
Correct, yes.
But you may not be open yet because you still have some problems in there.
Right.
Correct.
And so in that, you can work out with the building inspection department.
I guess there was some, was it the plans or something was sent in with Luna on there, and that wasn't correct. It should have been changed over.
Okay.
I think maybe that's where some of the misunderstanding was started with. But somehow, I think you do have an email or something that,
Yeah, I had contacted
Okay.
NF here regarding the name change, the week after that, you motioned to approve for the license.
Right.
yeah,
So, yeah.
so somehow the name still stayed on there, which wasn't supposed to. That was the first step.
And the reason,
Yeah.
I'm sorry, the reason being was because we agreed, me and Frank agreed that we were gonna buy it, ready to open up and conduct business. So he was the one handling the building plans, he hired the architect and such.
Right. Okay.
Mr. Chair,
Alderman Weigel.
have you ordered new signage?
Yes, I have.
Okay, so you're anticipating shortly after October 1, the Luna signs come down?
They will be down October 1st.
Okay.
Everything
Yes.
should be changed over.
I believe Ted has a comment to make.
And that was my question, to clarify what Alderman Weigel asked. So signs on the building, anything dealing with Luna will be removed.
Correct.
Okay, so being that, do I have a motion?
Move to place on file?
Well, do we place this on file?
No. We already issued this, didn't we?
Reconsider.
Well,
He was called in,
To
he was
reconsider.
called in.
Well, we voted to reconsider, but we didn't.
Well, if we don't reconsider it, it's still granted, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
So if we just place it on
So
file.
place on the file then?
Yeah, placing in file is fine.
Okay. Who made the motion? Second, do I have a second?
Wait a second.
Any further discussion? All in favor? Aye. Anyone opposed? Thank you.
Everything continues as is then? pretty
Pardon me?
much? Everything continues as is?
Everything continues. Well,
As of now.
right, because it was voted in favor,
Okay.
so.
Well,
yes.
thank you.
Mohammed Shazad,
Sandeep Verma.
pardon me?
And
Sandeep Verma.
Oh, okay. Okay, this is the, wait, what is it? Okay, this is for the Beer Depot, 1568 South 81st Street.
Yes.
You're the current owner of it,
Yes.
and you applied for the license. And so we get this in and we're looking at this, and the current license holder hasn't turned and has said he's not turning the license in. And so basically you're applying for a license that isn't there, that someone already has it.
Yep.
Okay, so, can't do that.
No, because he signed the lease and I got the lease and everything, and he did it with the attorney, in front of the attorney. And I got the lease and everything here.
But if he doesn't turn the license in,
Yeah,
You know,
but
there
in
is no license. If you're leasing the place from him, you know, that's
because
really.
he agree he's turning on the license, and now he say he don't want to turn on the license. I don't know why.
Okay, Jenna, legally, how does this, how does this come in?
That's, right. The question is, he's not supporting, or he's not honoring your lease? He's not honoring your lease? Is that what you're saying? Then
No,
that's something-
there's already a breach of contract. He put stops on
Okay,
the
that's
payments.
something, sure,
So-
that's something you'd have to handle in civil court. At this
Okay.
time, until we can show that he has control of the property, the license should remain in the original person's
So,
name.
so it stays in his name?
Yes.
And we'll just vote to deny on your license, because the license is still in his name.
Okay.
So,
Move for denial, Mr. Chairman.
Yeah, I'm keeping the license.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do not wish to.
And
But
if,
how does it work, the lease, you know, he signed the 1 year.
That's between you and
Yeah.
and
if
court.
something goes to court and later it's something where you can control the premises, then you can apply and let us know of that decision that
Yeah.
you have control of the premises.
you guys get squared away in it, wait, so, who made the motion?
Second.
Any further discussion?
No, the only thing is I need to get the license out physically from the place. How would I do that?
What do you mean physically?
It's still at the premise, the piece of paper, because he's there. I do not wish to surrender it or anything.
Well,
He doesn't have a license, though.
Mr. Chair,
Okay.
Hold on, Weigel.
Then I,
Mr. Verma called me today, and I.
because
sug-
it's locked.
And I
that's-
suggested that the license belongs to him, okay?
Correct.
And that this gentleman is operating under his license, which is a whole nother matter.
Yeah, I do not wish to do that.
And I said, the license belongs to you, then you have a right to go in there and remove the license from the premises, at which time they could no longer sell alcohol there, because the license isn't there.
Right.
So,
well,
I'll sell
is it even legal for him to be operating with the other license?
no, that's a whole nother story.
Okay, well, we won't go into that, but, so you have the right to the license, it's in your name, and so that the business cannot operate without a license.
Or barring
what
his,
about the inventory, what I did the inventory, if I can, how is work my inventory? If I can no sell the liquor, and then how's my inventory work now?
But that's
not up
not
to
with
us.
us.
It's my
That's
inventory.
you
Paid me for
gotta go to civil court on that. We don't have anything to do with that. All we have to do is with the license,
Okay.
you know, and the license is still his until he surrenders it.
What was the arrangement the two of you had with respect to the license? You had a lease?
I'm the lease it. And
See, there's
he-
probably conditions in there, it's not a position.
Yes,
to
but
let
like I
legal
said, he never
advice.
honored paying me. He still owes me money, and
I
he
know
put
you
stop
his money,
payments.
because the thing is, my money going his account for almost for $4,800.
Well, then I think,
And I pay him $1,750 because we
When?
one.
Okay, wait, guys.
time out here.
that's
I think consistent with what our our assistant city attorney has suggested or recommended, and what Alderman Weigel's indicated, I suspect we use self-help, you can go in there, get the license, remove the license, and you can't sell anything.
Okay.
Yeah,
And
and
then
then
you have to
if-
go through civil court on the lease.
Okay, I will certainly do that.
Okay.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Okay, any further discussion? All in favor? Aye. Anyone opposed? Motion carried.
So we all good?
Yeah.
That's it?
Yep.
All right,
That's it.
thank you.
So what about my lease with the, if I-
That's
Okay, Ronald
Hartsvet.
Hartsvet.
Okay, I'm not doing too good today, am I? Okay. Okay, you're gonna be the new agent for the, you gonna be new agent for the bar, or?
Pardon
is
me?
this- No, you're taking it over, or,
Yes,
okay. Did you buy it, or are you just gonna be,
bought the business and I'm leasing the property.
okay. Have you ever done this before?
No, but a friend of mine that I got the bar from, they have 7 bars in West Allis.
Right.
And they've been taking me step by step through the whole process. I've been disabled for the last 15 years, and this was an opportunity to get back to work.
Okay. Let's see, I don't think there's any,
Mr. Chair,
Alderman Weigel. Oh, okay.
I'm looking at a really long and storied police record here. And then it suddenly stops in '04, for the most part.
Been a long
Did,
time.
Did you leave the country? Did you?
No, I didn't get an education until a little later in life, to my late 20s, and that's pretty much when things got better.
So from 86 to 04,
I was homeless from, when I was 17, my mother remarried, and they bought a house in West Allis, and they left me on 48th and Howard. So I was homeless from age 17 to about 26. And like you said, I was with wrong people, and
I mean, there's some very concerning things here. Maintain a premises vehicle for controlled substance. It was 1989, but it shows as it was a felony. Aggravated battery, a felony. I mean, so really since '04,
but I don't have a felony for controlled substance.
it says disposition unknown in here. I mean, it was a charge in 1989.
It may have just been a ticket, but I don't have a charge of that.
You don't have
But I
a
do-
1994 aggravated battery
Yes,
felony?
I do have a PTAC, party to the crime.
Yeah.
That means I didn't do it, but I was there, I saw it, and I also had a burglary when I was around 19, 20, but that was also a PTAC, and that's in the record. That means I didn't actually do it, but I was there.
And again, since '04, you've turned your life around and.
Correct.
And where have you been working since '04?
I've been disabled for 13, 14 years. I've been on Social Security.
Okay.
I don't know what's concerned me, and if you can help me on this one, generally, habitual criminality.
Habitual criminality is, it's a statute enhancer. You can add on to a crime. So example, disorderly conduct, 90 days, usually a crime. But if you've been convicted of 3 misdemeanors in the past 5 years or a felony in the past 5 years, you can add on the habitual criminality enhancer, which makes the maximum penalty go from 90 days to 2 years.
Okay, and that was on '02. See, we always worry about these, because if something goes wrong at your bar, all of a sudden you're selling drugs, all of a sudden, it's fights and everything, the neighborhood's gonna be saying, look at this guy's record.
And I knew when I came in here
And
today-
how could you let this guy have a license in our city? Now, granted, it's been 8 years since anything, and it was a disorderly, what was that last disorderly conduct you
That
had?
was, that was just me and my brother at my parents' house, and we got, I think it was 90 days, Milwaukee County. We did like 60 days.
But what was the disorderly conduct?
We were
Fighting?
fighting in my mother's living room, which we did often when we were young.
That was only 8 years ago.
Well, he died 4 years ago.
Mr. Chairman?
Alderman Singstock.
Sir, you've indicated that you're presently receiving disability benefits, Social Security disability benefits, any other sources of income?
No, but I did go to the Social Security office a few weeks ago and told them that I'm working
You
and gave it
purchased
up.
this business,
Correct.
and I'm unsure as to, how costly it was, but did you have savings, or where'd you get the source of the dollars for this?
The gentleman behind me, John, he borrowed me $22,000 worth of stock, the liquor, the TVs, the bar stools, everything in the bar.
Now, there's responsibility in West Dallas, perhaps unlike other communities. You have to card people that you question their age, and if there's any problems on site, you best call 911, call the West Dallas Police Department. Don't take the law in your own hands. You certainly can refuse service, but it serves your best interest where you get a license to call the West Dallas Police Department. No self-help, nothing of that nature. We do have a program in the city whereby we have a sworn undercover officer, they escort a minor in, and they attempt to purchase beverages. So you've got to be very watchful there on the east end of town, and sometimes you may have a flow of people coming from bars that have a history of problems of coming over a new place. You want to test out the new owner, and that.
I did have a little bit of problem when Danny's Lounge went down. Some of that was coming over my bar.
That's what can happen, and I understand that, you like that the cash flow committee, and nonetheless, sometimes the cash flow brings problems, same as well as the type of music that you may be playing.
Right, and I don't play any of that type of music, and we have a very nice, clean bar.
What type of bar are you gonna be running, would you be running?
It's a very nice, clean, very super clean bar, and it's for everybody. It's not for a younger crowd, and it's not an older folks bar, it's just a corner neighborhood bar, is the best way to describe it.
Other than yourself, who would be tending bar?
I have a few girls that bartend.
They have licenses?
Yes, they do.
Thank you.
Mr. Chair.
They were working there before?
Three of them were working there existing, Melody, Katie, and I
Okay.
can't think of the other one.
See, another problem that I have is that, obviously with all this crime record you have, you were involved with a lot of bad people. And I don't want them all of a sudden starting to hang out at your bar.
Oh,
And it just, I don't know, I
I
have
could
such
say
a problem
something
with this.
about that. I don't have any of the same friends that I used to have back then. I have all new friends, and my friends don't drink or do drugs.
Mr. Chair?
Alderman Weigel.
So you're bartending there now and you're acting as a manager?
Correct. Well, I'm not bartending, I'm just managing.
Just managing?
Right.
Have you taken
Serve license course?
Yes.
Correct.
Okay. And so you don't have a West Allis license currently?
No.
Okay. And you're not gonna hire a manager, you're gonna be the manager? And you've really never bartended anywhere before except
Oh,
for
no,
here?
I've bartended before when I was young.
Okay, where?
Billy's Old Mill on 76 in Cold Spring.
Okay. That was like in the 70s?
No, it was
80s,
early 80s.
early
Right.
80s. But
was
that
eight-
was really the last time you bartended?
I was 18 years old, yeah, then I worked at Rusty Harpoon on 6 off of Lincoln, and that was a fine food cocktail kind of
But
restaurant.
you really don't have any bar management experience?
Well, I do now, but I didn't August 31st when I took over.
Granted, this is all in your past. There is a drunk driving conviction on here also, but again, that was quite some time ago.
That'd have to be like 25 years ago.
5 and 17 years ago?
Okay.
Not quite 25 years ago. But, and it just really concerns me, So you're paying rent and you're paying off the loan that opened you up. So you're really opening up with nothing down?
Oh, no, I put down 10,000.
Okay.
He got 7,500 first month, and then 5,000 security deposit.
And you're gonna live there? let me check.
No, I live in Greenfield
Okay,
at Cherokee Villas.
okay. And you do have a driver's license?
Correct.
That's a tough one.
Yeah, you see, the reason he's asking some of those questions
I
is
haven't even
concerned.
had a parking ticket.
When people run the business and businesses get in trouble, people do a lot of strange things. They get in a jam and they do, they feeling of desperation and everything. And this is why we have these problem bars we have, is that they play any kind of music, they draw in any kind of crowd, they can bring in money. And that's what concerns me with this, is
Could
that.
I say something about that?
Sure, go
I
ahead.
do have a good support team. I mean, I've got John and Mark, and like I said, they have 7 bars in West Allis.
They do well, yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna be just fine if given the chance.
Obviously, you think he can do it.
I've known him for a few years now, and I do believe he can do it. I have never seen him involved in these things, although I have never seen his record, which
Right.
is something that I should have done. But, yeah, I do believe he will be successful.
So,
And also, if I don't know if it
Mr. Chairman.
matters or not.
Mr. Chairman,
Yeah,
you just do have just a long, just a long record, and I understand a lot of it goes back to your youth, and I don't want to hold us against you. There's some indiscretions that maybe members of the council don't favor. We have one drunken driving conviction, I see that was done because of as my wife indicated, this is 17 years ago. I believe you're sincere. I believe you're sincere.
But it was, I refused to take a test,
Well,
but I was
I'm
intoxicated.
going to, I don't know what the other members of this committee or council are going to do, but I'm going to go on a limb. Been wrong before, but I guess hopefully I'm not wrong again, but I'm going to move that this license be approved.
Second.
Is there any further discussion?
Mr. Chairman,
Alderman Rowe?
I agree with Alderman saying, you've had a very checkered past. I mean, there's a lot going on there, but I think your honesty and sincerity with us
87.
is what swayed me, and I hope you continue it. You know, you haven't had anything for 8 years, and so don't disappoint us at all, please.
I won't.
Do you have anything to say?
No, I agree. It's been a while. He's been, clean for 8 years. Clearly, you've had some, concerns in the past, but I do believe in giving a person another chance. And I believe you're sincere too. And if you're not, we'll be coming back here and I'll be voicing my opinion.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed?
No.
Okay, so now this goes to the council meeting, which will be first Tuesday in October.
Okay.
For approval, so. Okay,
That's like next Tuesday, right?
All right,
that's it.
Don't disappoint us if you should get a
Right.
license.
okay, thank you.
Okay, then we have.
Don't forget your
name here.
briefcase.
Dave Bickler and
David.
Theodore Gilashewski.
Have a seat. What, you want to speak?
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, if I might,
Alderman Singleton.
if you recall, I expressed the fact that David Bickler Sr. was a gentleman that the notice is sent out to. I know David Bickler Sr. and David Bickler Jr. and Mr. Gilashewski, and I did go over there on Friday afternoon. The doors were locked. I did leave a note and a copy of this of our city attorney's comments about the non-payment of taxes, and you did enter an agreement. I would like to tell all of us now where you're going. I know you attempted to contact our assistant city attorney. She is quite busy, but I just want you to tell this committee and the city attorney what's going on.
I checked, it's posted yesterday that the
Oh, it did,
1500.
okay.
I called her today too.
Okay, yeah, I
So-
didn't have a chance to check my messages.
And I tried calling, I understand you're busy, and I'm like, and I told her I made copies, and I'll send a copy with each one of the invoice. And she
Okay.
said I didn't have to do that, I just had to put the parcel number. And she told me that she would be sending out my receipt, actually today.
That would be, you made another payment today?
No, the one that they received yesterday that posted.
Oh, the
As soon as they
treasurer's-
receive it, then they send me a receipt for that with the new balance on it.
Okay,
And I'll be
Okay.
sending them out another one this weekend, though.
okay, because right, your next one's due October
Yeah,
1st.
yeah.
Okay, that's
What
fine.
you do need is to change the address from Chase Avenue to your address or Dave
Now,
Jr.
for the meetings for today, they sent them to me and Junior. And normally, for every other meeting, they've come to us and to the bar.
I think that's because of the discussion we had last week Tuesday on where to send it.
And actually, it went to him in Arizona.
Right. No, it went to him and
And-
Chase, so he
Well,
never saw it.
It got forwarded to
Oh, it
there.
did? Okay.
So he called us on Wednesday morning when he got his mail, and I called Jenna right away because I didn't know where we were supposed to be. And I'm like, I didn't know, otherwise somebody would have been here.
Okay, motion?
Move to place on file.
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Okay.
Thank you, guys. Have a good night.
Brett Farnham? Brett Farnham, not Brett Farnham. Okay, you're applying for it's a new application for bartender's license, and where are you gonna be working, or you don't know yet?
I don't know yet.
Okay, have you bartended in West Allis at all?
No, I have not.
Other cities you have a license in?
I take that back. I bartended 21, 22 when I was younger. Somebody was there to watch over me, but other than that, no.
Okay, when did it, realize back in 97, some time ago, but these are the things that always jump out at me, where it says resisting or obstructing an officer. 'Cause we want you, when a police officer comes into your establishment, whatever he wants you to do, you do. You know, you cooperate 100% with you, you point out the people that are a problem. If there's any problem in the bar at all, we want you to call. We don't want to get a call from somebody that was in a fight, that they're walking down the street all beat up and everything. We want you to call, and then we will not hold that, you know, against you to a certain point.
Mr.
So,
Chairman?
Alderman Singstock.
Sir, you were relatively candid on your application in terms of prior skirmishes with law and
I'm sure that I have more,
violations.
I couldn't remember.
But you know, back in the 7 years ago, it just jumps out. You have disorderly conduct, criminal damage to property, battery.
Yes, sir.
What happened on that day?
I was out of town, and I returned home to my girlfriend of 6 years with another gentleman in the house. And I don't know what else to tell you, but I didn't keep my cool as I should have.
Well, if you do get licensed, you have to understand, you don't take the law into your own hands. You don't, you know, you may be qualified to defend yourself and escort people out of the bar, but that's not your role. Your role is to tend bar.
Absolutely.
Call the police department, they can do what they're hired to do. As indicated before, you card people, no reason to have loud music that may be unacceptable to neighbors. Be a good neighbor to the people around you. And we hope that if you get licensed, that we don't.
I mean, there's a select few places that I plan on. I play pool a lot, so I've gotten to know a pool playing majority of Flappers, Johnny Hammers, Network, you know, places like that that aren't, it's not rough. Everybody that comes in there is pretty decent. I'm a roofer during the summer and I get laid off in the wintertime, so this was kind of like an ulterior to sitting home unemployed.
Move on in favor, Mr. Chairman.
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Goes to the council on the first Tuesday in October.
Thank you.
For final vote. Brenda Ledbetter?
Hello.
Hello.
Hi. For a license at Boz's.
Yes, sir.
You're currently working there?
I'd like to work there. I need a bartending license.
Well, you're not working there now?
I help out if the owner is there.
Right.
Obviously, I do hold a license in Milwaukee and I don't want to jeopardize that one.
Mr. Chair?
Okay. Alderman Weigel.
Brenda, it shows on here November of 2010, you had an OWI in Cudahy, and then there's a PAC in February of 11. Is that a separate event, or is that the same event? You have one drunk driving or two?
Just one.
Okay.
Probably the same.
Probably the same event. It just it has a different, it's like a 3-month spread on the
Right.
dates. That was my concern.
February is when I went to court and everything for it.
Our concern is that, especially with multiples, but you only have one, that's demonstrating an inability to monitor your own alcohol intake. And obviously, as a bartender, there's going to be a time when you're going to have to tell somebody, you've had enough. Boz's runs a clean place. I don't think we have many problems there. I don't know if they have a policy for their employees, as far as drinking at work, but, hopefully, that's something that you don't have a problem with when you're working.
No, I'm generally very careful and cautious with what I do. I do bartend at Potawatomi. I've been there for 8 years.
Okay.
So they're extremely strict in the zero tolerance.
Soda pockets and everything, right?
We do our soda pocket shut. Very usually reserved. It was very dumb
Move
move.
approval, Mr. Chairman.
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Okay, you heard that the first week on Tuesday in October goes to the council. Okay?
Thank you, sir.
Aaron Bridgen? Bitson? Say that again? Bitson. Okay, this is a new application 88th and Greenfield, what's that?
Larry Michaels?
That's actually the shop.
Oh, the little.
Yeah, it's the one in the middle of the lot.
Downtown lounge.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see, did you put everything? 2001. Okay, we have a couple of concerns. Obviously, one of the biggest places that drugs are, passed around are in bars. And when someone has a record of selling, attempt to deliver, and matter of fact, 2 of them, it really concerns me. That we're going to put you in a position where it's been, 6 years, but we're going to put you in a position that if you're still involved in this, we're not helping the city, we're not helping with any of the problem around, we're not helping the police department at all by putting you in that position. So I have a big problem with this one. Let's see, and then we had one OWI 05.
Mr. Chair,
All in row.
do you want to tell us about any of these? 03 and 06, one was intent, and the other was possession of, go ahead, I'm sorry.
They ended up only being possession. It wasn't charged as intent to deliver. It was save money by buying in bulk at that time, and got caught. So that's
So you're saying you bought it for yourself?
correct.
That's 2 in a year to admitted it. Normally, everybody says, oh, I got it in a car, borrowed my friend's car, or, there's in somebody else's purse or something,
How about 2006, another incident?
It was the same situation. Actually, got pulled over for a loud exhaust, and it was in the vehicle, and that's how that happened.
So we're talking just...
What's different now than what it was in that time span going up to 2006?
I got divorced, so that kind of squashed everything out, and now I'm clean and sober, and I got a house right next to the bar, and that's how I got involved in this. She actually, the owner of the bar, asked me to help out there because it's just the girls that are behind the bar. So a male presence was kind of wanted, I guess, and that's how I came into play. And so I've been bar backing there, and it just seemed more profitable, I guess, if I actually went and got my bartending license, and that's where we're at.
Mr. Chair,
Alderman Weigel.
do you have another job?
Yes.
And what's that?
I'm a shipping coordinator for a plastic injection molding company in Germantown.
Okay, and so what you're saying is, when you got divorced, you could no longer afford to buy drugs?
Kind of. It was kind of the realization of I'm on the wrong path.
Okay.
And kind of needed to change my ways.
Okay, so you're not smoking dope anymore?
Correct.
Mr. Chair, I guess, do we know if Alderman Barzak's going to be here on the first meeting in October? Does anybody know? Because I would just assume, because it's in, the alderman who represents the district that this bar is in is not here. And since any action we take now wouldn't go into effect till that day anyways, I think I'd like to suggest with the closeness of the call on this one, that Alderman Barzak may want to weigh in on this.
Good idea.
So this isn't going to delay a decision. It's just, hopefully we can just get a better decision. It might come out of here 4-0 in favor anyways, but as stated earlier, the licenses won't get issued till the day after the next council meeting. And like I said, Alderman Barzak is not here today, and I think he might want to weigh in on it, so.
Well, even if he can't make the next meeting, we can speak to him.
We can speak to him and find out what his thoughts are on it.
Would you like him to appear again? I would imagine,
Would it be a strain for you to be here on the first Tuesday in October in the evening at 7:30? You'd come after dinner. It's not 5:30, it's 7:30.
Okay, so we're gonna hold this then, and we'll put it on agenda, you'll mail him another notice, and then we'll discuss it over to Alderman Barzak, who's in that district, because this is another one that's on the fence, and I think that would help.
Wait a minute.
He's
There
actually,
he is,
Walk to the door.
There he is.
Are we gonna dump it on him now, eh?
Were your ears ringing, Alderman Barzak?
Sorry?
I said, were your ears ringing?
We were just talking about
We
you.
were just,
Very, very good timing. This is an applicant for tending bar in your district. And perhaps the chair can tell you what the history of this gentleman is.
This one, I'm sure he went over everything, this is this one, and he's gonna be, what's the name of the place again?
The shop.
the shop, the old,
This is in your district.
the little tiny bar, the old downtown lounge.
He lives next door, he works with.
Alderman Barzak, if you take a look at those two incidents in 2000, those drug incidents in 2003, 2006, I think between those, there may have been an alcohol citation issued, and there was a divorce. He works full-time now, another job. He owns the building right next to the bar.
You own or you live there?
Own.
We own it, okay.
The owner of the bar.
I'm sorry.
Would like him to get a license and help out. And it's one of the situations, be given the fact we're looking for your input in terms of what your thoughts are.
We were gonna hold it until next meeting, so.
I appreciate that. You live right next door?
Correct.
Okay, are you working there now?
As a bar back, yes.
Okay, so you have been working in the past. About a week ago, maybe 2 weeks ago, I got to think of the occasion, because it was Sunday night.
Sunday night, our alderman.
And, yeah, it was that evening. I drove by the bar, and there was a tent set up, and there was people outside, and they had alcohol outside, and I don't recollect that there was any permit for that. And you're not allowed to do that. And were you there that night? I mean, you live there, so you must have known this was going on. In fact, that has to be probably your property.
No, I'm actually on the other side of the fence. I'm not on the property of the bar. I have the house next to the bar.
Okay, which that's where this was, because it was the house next to the bar. The driveway comes up, and then that's where the tent was set up, and there was a fence around it. And there's no permit. And so I'm a little concerned about this bar, because they're just doing things on their own. And they're not following any rules, following any regulations. And it brings up concern. And then I see something like this on the record, and it comes into responsibility of knowing, the rules, knowing the regulations, et cetera. And, you got a little bit of a history here that isn't real pleasant.
Right.
Do you know anything about that evening, or?
I do know the evening. I can't really speak for the permits or anything of that nature, but from my understanding, there was a fence that went from the bar itself to my fence, which closed off the ability to take the alcohol onto the sidewalk. And from what I was told, that was acceptable. And I'm not sure about permits or anything
not
of
at
that
all.
nature. Or,
It wasn't acceptable at all. But, all right, you don't run the bar, it's not your bar, you're just trying to apply for a license. I'm just trying to get a little history there, because, like I said,
I believe is that the owner?
Owner back here?
Did you want to add, I don't know.
Well, it's not on the agenda.
Right,
This
it's
is,
not, that's what I'm saying. If it's pertinent to voting for this,
I'm
we
just-
can have her speak otherwise.
Yeah, I'm just kind of curious that, like I said, I'm seeing the doors open, and I'm seeing people outside when I go by there. I'm seeing a bar that's, to me, is getting a little bit out of control, from a little, it was a neighborhood ma pa bar, and I'm seeing the door open all the time now as I drive by, and I'm seeing people outside, and it just concerns me. So anyway, let's get back to your record. 2003, 2006, you had 2 drug possessions, correct?
correct.
And then in 05, you had a OWI. What happened in the OWI?
That was right after my divorce, and I went out partying with some friends and got behind the wheel and got pulled over.
Accident? Any damage?
No.
Okay, So 7 years ago. Listed everything? Well, I know how 2 of the people are gonna vote already. I'm assuming. I didn't hear your discussions prior to this.
Not necessarily.
So.
I know how one is gonna vote.
Second.
Yeah, sort of am.
Yeah.
Mr. Chairman?
Alderman Singstock.
I'll give Alderman Barzak additional time to review your application. And our intent is not to hold you accountable for what you may not have known about in terms of licensed premises either. But he is correct about the fact that, owners of licensees of bars have to be what the laws are, and the premises is the premise, the bar. To go beyond that, there has to be a special permit. So he is totally correct in terms of perhaps being irritated that someone's not following our laws.
Okay.
And you happen to be here, and you happen to drive by your place that you live next to.
So do I have a motion on this?
Mr. Chair?
Alderman Road.
I move for approval. This is our second tough one tonight. You told us everything you did. You were very honest. You're the second person that I can remember that actually fessed up and said it was their pot, that it wasn't their brothers, or the guy who we had 3 years ago, and they found cocaine in his pants, and he said they were someone else's pants. Well, we were just in tears laughing up here, biting our lips. But I move for approval based on your honesty.
Yeah, I'll second that, and for discussion, Mr. Chairman, my vote may not be significant because of the fact that I will not be at the council meeting next Tuesday, nor will another alderman be in position of voting, in favor of it. So I can't tell what's going to happen on the committee or on the floor. All the 8 members in attendance next Tuesday, if they're all there, they'll be voting on this. But I concur with Alderman Roth. You have been very honest. You come across, I think, as part of your character fiber. I believe that you're honest. You had some problems in the past. I'm willing to go to bat for you. And again, I can't tell you what's going to happen because I won't be here to vote in favor of your license on the floor.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
No.
No. So we have 3-2, and it goes in front of the council. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
Thank you for your time.
Jason Steele. Oh, got that one. No problem. I can really read those. Okay, we have another new application. It's for Rhino. Let's see.
Mr. Chairman?
Alderman Singstock.
Do you have a license anywhere else?
No.
Have you tenant bar anywhere else?
No, sir.
Not at all, not even just helping out?
Well, I've managed different clubs. Never had to do a full shift behind the bar or anything.
If you should get licensed, you've heard a number of us express what we require or expect from bartenders.
Yes, sir. I've been listening to you.
You were relatively upfront on your application. I don't think that bar is, I don't know what Alderman Rowe, if there's any problems with that, but that bar, you may address that, but for discussion purposes and ultimately for, and then for a position on this matter, I vote approval, Mr. Chairman.
Well, you're making a...
Second.
Okay. Discussion. Okay, we have a motion from Alderman Singstock, second by Barzak. Further discussion? Okay, well, you're familiar, we had some problems with it in the past, and we don't want to have any problems with it. Your boss knows that.
Right.
Turn a new leaf, he wants to do a lot better, so...
That was before I took over, and when I took over, I got rid of half the staff, and I cleaned it up more than, like, you haven't heard one problem since I took over about 8 months ago.
Okay.
So.
Okay. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you, sir.
You say it.
Jerry Sawalish.
I don't want to try that one. Sure. Okay, another new application for Harrio's.
Yes.
Mr. Chairman?
Alderman Barzak.
two WIs, both in '06, both '07, I'm assuming that's the same. Is that correct?
that's the
One
same
says
thing.
Muskego, one says Waukesha County.
Yeah, it was Waukesha County.
So I'm assuming there really isn't two
It's the BAC and the.
They got the same date. Yep,
regular
that's
ticket,
exactly
yes.
what I know. I'm just questioning it. All right.
Mr. Chair,
Alderman Weigel.
you heard our concerns earlier, especially with a history where you've demonstrated at least twice that you made some bad choices about drinking and driving.
Absolutely, but I will let you know that I take bartending very seriously. I don't drink behind the bar. I'm not afraid to call the police, as you had said before. I've been in Harry O's for a little over a month now, and I've already asked 2 people to leave, don't come back. I do take my job seriously, and the 2 DWIs had definitely nothing to do with bartending. In fact, one was before I was even a bartender.
You know, we don't really have a lot of problems with that bar, you know, he seems to run a pretty decent place.
Some smoking
So,
issues in there?
Yeah, I think so.
And wait, don't let people smoke at the
No,
bars.
it's against the law.
It was a while back, so.
We had.
And I
But just-
really don't want $171.
You've heard everything that, you've heard everything that we have said here.
Yes, sir.
And
Approval?
Second. Any further discussion? All in favor? Aye. Anyone opposed?
All right, thank you.
Yvonne Morrison. Oh, we got a circle on it. Okay, new application. Ventures. Okay, have you been bartending there for a while, or at all, or?
They had me come in like a couple days so far just for training, but I was waiting until today before I could start. There was really no hurry in starting, so.
Mr. Chair?
Alderman Weigel.
I think you probably know the reason you're here is we have a concern about the drug issue. So we're showing, I mean, it was a while ago, but a possession of THC with intent
When was that?
in '96.
Oh, Jesus.
Lake
I think I was 19. Yeah, 96. Trying to remember what that even was. I think it was a pot pipe
City
my
of
friend
Milwaukee?
had or, yeah, it was I was in a friend's car and young and dumb, yeah.
Well, it says possession of drug paraphernalia, and it says possession of THC with intent. So that means, I assume.
It was just a pot pipe. I don't get
It'd
it.
have to be at least probably 28 grams of marijuana to be intent. Or corner cuts.
It was so long ago, I can't even recall the day or the, I don't know, I'm kind of embarrassed.
Okay, well-
I don't really remember.
Um,
I mean,
Mr. Chairman?
Alderman Barza.
What I look at is, I'm seeing you've been clean for 16 years, not even a traffic offense. So this stuff happened a long time ago. I don't have any problem. I move for approval.
yeah,
Okay,
I had a bad wreck a while ago. My
I
memory's
just,
horrible.
well, you had something written down on here that we didn't even have in the police record.
What's that?
Las Vegas.
Yeah, for Las Vegas.
In 2011.
Yeah,
11?
the guy took my money. I was living with him, and I should have called the police. But he was a 300-pound man, and he was throwing me around, so I beat him up with a pipe. And I wanted my money back. He admitted he took my money in court, but it just the way that I handled it was bad, and I'm not proud of it.
Well, make sure you call the police this time. We don't want you beating
Right.
anybody over the pipe in the bar. So I have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed?
Thank you.
Okay.
Good night.
Okay.
Nikita Johnson. Thank you, Ed. Thank you, Ed. There's a man here.
Sorry, I'm used to
That's it. Well. Okay, we have another new application, doghouse.
Mr. Chair?
Alderman Weigel.
Can you tell me, I guess you're relatively young, 3 years ago, I'm showing 4 counts of graffiti. Were you in a gang?
No, I never got charged for anything. I was with somebody that got in trouble for it, and I ended up having to go and sit in jail for, not like sit in jail, but a couple days. But everything should have been dropped right when I got out. I was just like a party to a crime type thing.
Well, it shows on here bail jumping also. This is in your record.
Oh, okay. Well, none of this stuff should be in there at all. I shouldn't have anything on my record at all.
Because, why shouldn't you have anything on your record?
I never got charged for anything.
Does that sound right?
Arrests and
He
convictions.
was, looks like he was arrested for it, but you were already arrested. You were convicted of aggravated battery, correct?
I got locked up for substantial battery. I got into a fight and the kid got hurt.
So you were
But
convicted.
I got that expunged.
Not what it says in your record.
Oh,
Check your record.
from everything I know, I mean, that's from what I know.
Check your record. Someone says it was expunged. It
So
hasn't.
let's
Well, I mean,
go-
I was facing a felony and I know I don't have a felony, so.
So tell us what happened that day.
In the fight?
Yeah.
I got into a fight. I hit the kid one time. I'm assuming when he hit the ground, that's what really did the damage to his face. I only hit him once, so.
I mean, was this over money or a girl or?
Just
you were
stupid high school
drunk,
drama.
or-
Don't even remember. It was just something stupid.
Where'd you go to school?
Nathan Hale.
Was the person's jaw broken?
His orbital bone.
His eye?
Yep.
Okay. See, we're gonna-
But you, Mr. Chairman, you did indicate you had traffic.
Right.
Now, there's lots of traffic. Understand it's not as serious as some other convictions.
Yeah, I actually live really
But-
close
but
to the.
I think what really jumped out at us is that graffiti bail jumping.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I guess I have to try to go back and have somebody
You should
clear
check.
that
Did
up
you have
or
an attorney
something,
representing
because.
you? Was an attorney representing you at the time?
No, I just used the public.
You really should check that out because this is gonna follow you around.
Yeah, I know, and I don't know why it's on there, because I know I've applied for stuff where you can't have charges. I mean, isn't that a felony, the substantial battery? It's a,
Aggravated battery or substantial battery is a
yeah.
felony, yeah.
And I definitely didn't get charged with
Check
it,
that
so.
out.
Okay, you have a lot of traffic things on here, and the reason why those things always bother me is because you get your driver's license with a lot of rules and regulations. If I look and I see that, well, this person's not following the rules and regulations of the driver's license, we give you a license which also has rules and regulations. Why should I think that you're gonna follow our rules and regulations? And so those things always concern me, and you do have quite a bit in 2008, 9, 10, and 11. So, they may seem minor, but there's a lot of them. So, it's not enough to vote against you, but you need to watch all the rules, listen to the police when they come in. Any problems, call the police. So, do I have a motion on this?
Move for approval. Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor? Aye. Anybody opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you. Have a good one.
John Bull?
Bowling.
Bowling?
Only non-appearance.
Okay, this is the first time, let me take.
Bring him down next week.
Okay, you have to come back.
Jessica Lesnowski.
Jessica,
Jessica.
That's right.
Did I have that one right?
Yeah, Lesnowski.
N-I-E.
Lesnowski.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's Polish beyond Polish.
Another new application, this is a double barrel.
Harry O's.
Sorry.
It's actually not a new application. I mean, I held a license in West Dallas already, and it just expired.
But you let it expire.
Yeah, if it expired, it's a new application.
Okay.
It's not a renewal. You said Harry O's, it says double barrel.
No, it's
Oh, it
Harry's.
says, here he goes. You're the wrong one.
Yeah, you have the wrong one.
You're the last one.
You're the no-show guys.
I'm on the no-show. Stand corrected, stand corrected.
Jessica, not
Okay.
John.
Is there another Harry O's? Wait.
Switch.
Okay, sorry.
Mr. Chair?
Alderman Weigel?
We're showing, I'm gonna guess that's just one drunk driving?
Yes.
Although it's two different dates here, but that happens sometimes with the paperwork.
Oh, yeah, no, it was one. And actually, I don't ever drink and drive. What happened was my boyfriend was beating the crap out of me, and I called the cops, and they didn't get there fast enough. So I got in my vehicle and drove down the street and waited for them to come. And
You live on 86th and Howard, and you're
Correct.
working on Lincoln. How do you get to work?
I either get a ride, someone comes and picks me up from Harry's, or I've walked, or I've taken the bus. But I do actually have my car, and I do drive my car. It has a breathalyzer on it, so I mean,
But it's saying here that your driver's license is revoked.
yes, it is now, so that's why I'm not driving. I did have an occupational.
Okay.
So, and the breathalyzer comes off in, I believe, a month. So, and I've done all the classes with impact and everything like that. I just didn't have the $200 to reinstate my driver's license yet.
So that's where it says non-compliance,
Yeah.
it's just you didn't have the money to pay.
Right.
Do you have another job currently, or
No.
just working?
Mm-mm. I'm a full-time student also.
Move approval, Mr. Chairman.
Second. And where are you going to school, for what?
I'm going for clinical medical laboratory technician for cancer research.
Any further discussion?
Mr. Chair?
All enrolled.
So you can drive now or can't drive now?
I can't right now until I
Cannot.
come up with the $200 to reinstate my license, but I went through impact and I, did all that stuff.
Did you get out of a tan Ford tonight?
A who?
Tan colored Ford? Okay.
Just make sure.
I'm sorry, I get here early and I,
Oh, yeah, no.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed?
no,
You're saying no?
I'm,
Okay. I apologize, I'm sorry. Okay, that's all. Then it goes to the council on the
Okay, thank you.
first Tuesday. Christopher Haas.
I saw her get out of the car.
Okay, so, new application, this is for the new bar.
Yep,
I'm gonna go
1022.
watch.
I know she did. I saw
Now,
her
is this,
story.
I can go
have
look.
you bartended before?
Oh, yeah, for upwards of almost 10 years in Germantown, Richfield, Hubertus. There's one more.
Okay, that's fine. You have the same problem as the other person, where you have a lot of traffic problems here, 9, 10, 11, 9, 10, and 12. And they're, like I said,
Well, like I said-
minor, but these are rules and regulations that are put upon you.
Right.
And so, we had some problems down in a bar, another gentleman owned it, not that long ago. We don't want any more problems.
Absolutely. I mean, I was 20 when I got my first bartending gig in Richfield. I've gone almost 10 years without a ding, without anything. I don't drink behind the bar. I withhold all the bar rules and regulations. The traffic thing, I've just always been a lead foot, and
Your license is suspended right now?
yes, it is. Actually went and had the ticket paid today. I was hospitalized for about 6 weeks with an infection in my liver. So I got,
You're reinstated?
I have to call and make sure, but they said once it's paid, it would be reinstated. Once the ticket was paid, it would be
Well, you have nothing
reinstated.
in Milwaukee County here, so let's keep it clear. Everything else, Dodge, Waukesha, Washington.
Yep,
You know,
all out
Yeah.
west.
How'd you get here?
Okay,
How did I get here? I got dropped off.
Getting picked up?
Yes, absolutely.
There's a camera out there.
Yep.
Alden Weigel.
That was my question. How we got, because you're gonna live in Germantown, you live in Germantown,
Yes.
so you're gonna drive a half hour every day to come bartend?
Well, weekends, I work weekends. I have a full-time job that I work, next to my sister. So, Friday, Saturday, Sundays are gonna be my days. I work 12 to 12, the rest of the week.
And what do you do?
I run a it's technically second shift, shipping and receiving dock at Brady Corp.
Okay.
On, Good Hope.
Do I have a motion?
Move approval.
Second?
Do we have any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Gentlemen.
I walked around all the way southbound on 75th to Orchard, so no cars are parked.
Thank you.
Thank you. I was wrong.
Alma Estrada.
I shall come back and get it later.
I apologize.
We'll call you in at the council meeting.
Fleming?
They had the same shirt on. There's two girls with the same shirt on, maybe.
Oh,
No.
okay.
No, you're good.
Yeah, it's next Tuesday, isn't it? Okay, we have another new application. Do you know where you're gonna be working, or just wanna get a license so you can get a job?
My brother opened up a bar. It used to called Stumbles Inn. He changed
All
the
right,
name to
Stream.
Extreme. Yeah,
That's your brother?
yeah, that's my brother. And I wanted to help him out because when I was there, I didn't like the way it was being run, and he works third shift, and I'm a stay-at-home mom, you know, so I wanted, you know, to help him out. So he just said, get your license.
You drove here today?
Did I drive here today? Yes.
What color is your car?
Black?
Just kidding, just kidding.
Come on, guys.
So,
for approval.
do I have a second?
Second it, more discussion.
I'll second, for discussion, I'll second, I got a question here.
All the way?
So you did drive here today. Do you have a driver's license?
I know they're expired, right? Okay. I know I have to get them renewed, which, why I need a job, so. This is not my car, it's my boyfriend's car.
I know, but you don't have a driver's license.
No.
And you drove here. And you would be driving to work, I assume?
No, actually, my brother would be helping me, or my boyfriend, he would be helping me. And it'll be part-time, you know, so, until I get enough money to get my license.
You know you can't drive that car out of here.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, there's a police
You know that,
officer
right?
right here.
There's a police officer
You
right
will get a
there.
ticket if you get in your car and drive home
Really?
right now.
Yes, you will.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
this is what Alderman Chaplesky was talking about, is following rules.
Right.
But you had some shoplifting incidents and back in the, later?
Yeah, that actually was like party to a crime where I was on a different level and my friends were there, but I guess if you're with the person, you get, you know, in trouble. In the second one, both girls got
Why do you have an
caught.
expired driver's license?
I'm sorry.
I didn't know they were, honestly, and everything, I didn't know they were expired, so I went to West Virginia with my flight ticket, and this was actually this year, and to go visit my brother, and they told me when I was, you know, you had to show your ID, they were expired, so.
I see nothing.
I
on
thought
your-
they were good for like
never-
8 years. I never got pulled over, I have not got pulled over within, and nobody ever, when they carded me, nobody ever said anything, I never paid attention to it. I honestly thought it was good for.
So you never renewed it?
8 years, no, it was actually expired the following year, when I realized it at the airport, you know, when they told me that it was expired. I'm like, what, they're good for 8 years, and it was only good for that 1 year.
So you didn't have any violations, is the fact you just never renewed?
I'm sorry?
You didn't have any speeding violations,
No, no,
traffic
no.
violations, you just didn't renew?
No, I just didn't I didn't know they were expired, that's why I didn't renew them. And I know you get like something through the mail telling you, but I had moved
Gotta
maybe.
get that license.
I am, believe me, I'm working
Call
on it.
somebody to help them pick you up.
Well,
Get in that car, you will get,
I won't, I'll call.
You-
If
I'll call.
if you had a
Actually,
a
my
longer
brother's bars
record.
around here, I could just walk
But
over
see,
there.
this is what,
Thank you.
you know,
Thank you
this,
for letting me know.
you know, it's, I don't know if you had a hard time getting here, and no one else can get a ride here, but you can't drive the car without a license. It's against the law. So now if somebody comes in the bar and they're underage, but it's a nice person, I've
Oh,
known him before, so I'm
wouldn't
gonna
do
give
that.
them a drink. This is the
Yeah, I know
comparables
what
we
you
put
mean.
to it, and this is what we don't wanna
Yeah.
happen. And so it just, I mean, it may be seem far-fetched, but it's not. You know,
I mean, I
and we
understand that,
can't
but
have this happen.
I wouldn't let any underage in the bar, because I know I would be responsible for that. I would get the ticket, you know, for that.
You
I
and
would
your
not-
brother will get a ticket.
Yeah,
I'll make a call and get a driver.
I will. Actually, I'm gonna walk to my brother's
Lily,
bar.
I'm gonna have to talk to you outside,
Okay,
okay?
okay.
Do you have your driver's license with
Yeah,
you?
mhm.
Okay, so we have a motion and a second to approve. All in favor? Aye. Anybody opposed?
No.
Okay, so it's 4-1. So this goes to the council then.
Okay, what happens then? It's my first time, I'm sorry.
This goes to the council next Tuesday, and there's 10 aldermen, even though probably some missing, but everybody votes on it.
Okay.
So because it's 4-1, there's going to be 5 other people
I
probably
come
didn't vote on
back?
it, so. You don't have to.
Oh, okay, I'll get a letter, okay.
If you were, or if you don't live in West Allis, then otherwise you can just watch it on TV too, so. Okay?
Then if it gets approved, you can pick it up the next day during the day, or if you're not here that day, it'll get mailed to your address.
Okay.
The address you have
Yes.
on your application.
Okay, okay. Well, thank you, guys. Thank you.
Okay, and
Yep.
Lieutenant Banish will talk to you. John Starr.
We didn't vote.
I'm sorry.
oh, we did. That's
Yeah,
right.
we did.
4-1.
Yep, we did.
John Starr. Bart Starr.
Brenda Starr.
Okay, then we have
Tammy Duff.
Tammy Dopp. Now, they put stuff on there, I'm looking for a name.
Mr. Chair?
Alderman Weigel.
Tammy, you're here at my request.
Yes.
We're getting complaints, we've had some complaints about some unlicensed events
You
that
mean
you have had in the past.
in the past?
And,
Yes, learn my
and-
lesson,
and the
yes.
committee at one time had considered doing a formal limit on the number of these kinds of events that bars can have.
Yes.
Okay. And I guess the concern is that this is your second one, I believe, the second one that you're getting a permit for. this
Correct.
license.
Well, it's probably my 10th one in the
Yeah,
13
we have a little
years that I've
chart
had a
here,
bar.
and I think you're leading, actually.
Well, only because I do not have an outside premise
Well, and
permit.
that's the
Which I
question I
wish-
have. That's the
yes.
question I have. You're kind of essentially getting around the process by which we allow people to have beverage alcohol outside. Okay, and when that process is formalized, and when we do that, then there's a public hearing, and the neighbors get to know about it, and we get to hear from the neighbors.
Yes.
And again, although we don't have a formal limit on the number of events that you can have, I just wanted to let you know that you're running up against my kind of internal limit.
I'm like a mental case with outside people.
I understand that.
You know,
I've stopped in, we've had a conversation about this.
right, yes.
You know, but the
And
point
it's-
is,
yeah.
the point is, you need to
People
know that
smoke.
this needs to be run well and by the numbers.
Absolutely.
And ideally, the neighbors are happy,
Yes.
you know?
Yes, and I've got good, repertoire with my neighbors. I run a good place. Next year, when I save my money this fall, I'm going to apply for a,
The license extension, okay.
yes, and then do whatever I need to do to make my life a lot easier.
And this is gonna go, the application has 10 with an 11 written over it. Is it gonna go till 11 PM?
Well, I asked whoever I was filling out the application with how long I can, so I could legally do it.
Right.
And know as long as I
It's
could.
and that's, the 13th is a weekend, I
It is a
assume?
Saturday night.
Okay.
If it's, like Tim is playing outside, if it's nice, if it's not nice inside, I applied for the permit, so that's just in case it's nice outside and people go outside and.
So, and you have DJ, comma, music, and food. So by the music, do you mean a band?
Tiki Tim.
Okay.
It's luau,
And what instruments are there?
it's kind of a DJ, right? You don't really, or do you play?
I understand, are there instruments?
Ukulele, is that what you use?
Guitar, and is it
Okay.
amplified? Okay, okay. I guess, I just want to make sure that you know.
Yes,
that-
I want to know, I
that
want to
you
do
wanna
everything.
We want to have a nice event.
Yes.
We don't want your neighbors upset.
I
so.
thank you very much. I don't want to make you guys upset.
Yeah, well, I had heard from your neighbor when you were having the outside things without permits.
I
so,
had
and
a fundraiser 2 weekends in a
Right.
row that were way bigger than I ever
But,
thought.
but you need to get along with neighbors, because my policy always is that you have to get along with your neighbors, they don't have to get along with you.
I
So,
agree.
so if you have problems over there, and it does, then we're just gonna eliminate all these, and it'll affect your license.
It's my livelihood. Exactly.
So this is an application for that outdoor. Do I have a motion?
Move approval.
Second?
Okay. Somebody already, okay. Where is it? Wait a second. Okay, any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you very much.
Okay, then we have the discussion on these, last one is a discussion on, do we want to put a cap on how many of these we have?
Mr. Chairman?
Premises, Alderman Singstock?
Well, I think it was last year, or 2 years ago, Alderman Barzak brought for discussion the limitation of event applications. And having an opportunity to review the history going back to 2007, I think that perhaps we should move towards limitation, but I would like to see, I would be in favor of a limitation of three with criterion that if another application comes in for the right, if we think it's a right purpose, and I want to explain this away a little bit, I think I've alluded to this before, and you know, I have very few bars in my area. The one that has a larger physical plant is that of Lynch's, and there are numbers of times that he may be requested to have for the Booster Club, something unrelated to his business. You know, this year they didn't have Lynch Fest. I'm not so sure they're going to have Lynch Fest ever again, which would have been, that's for the personal financial coffers more than any others. So, you know, I don't know what other members think, but I think three, we can always, the council can always drop off the three to a lesser amount if in the numbers of years it's, there's no other further application. But I have some verbiage in there that the License and Health Committee can view other applications if, for the right, and grant for the right reasons.
And Mr. Chair, I'd concur with Alderman Sengstock's sentiments on it exactly. I
So
think
what
three
you're
is a
saying,
good
we
number.
We put 3, but if they want more,
Well,
then
if
they
it's,
gotta come for the
if
right
it's,
reason.
you know, let's say West Dallas Charities comes back
Yeah,
to life,
yeah.
or, you know, the downtown bid, or the Chamber of Commerce, or something like that, yeah.
Farmers market.
So, so what do we make an ordinance for that then? That a limit of 3 will be?
Right, do you, for the extra ones, how do you want to handle it with, like, do you want to?
You kind of know what the drift is, though?
Right.
Put something
Do you
in.
want to have it like a 3/4 of the council agree on that, or does it have to be like a nonprofit organization, or just to give it some sort of criteria, or?
Well, the Chamber of Commerce is not a nonprofit, I don't think.
Booster, not Booster.
Chamber of
Club,
Commerce is
all
nonprofit.
our-
Is it?
Do
Okay.
you want to do like the special permit, like the bona fide club?
Yeah,
lodge?
yeah.
Okay, you can do that.
Okay. So, this item just, I got a
Put something
motion,
together.
motion to place it on file?
Some of,
Second.
And I'm sorry, do you want it during the licensing year from July 1st to June 30th?
Yeah.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Great.
Any further discussion on this issue? All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed?
Move adjournment, excuse.
Are we going to closed session on Danny's or not? First
We have
item
one
on,
closed session?
first item on the agenda, where we're gonna talk about some parameters of what we were looking for, possibly. It's on the agenda.
I'm
We're all
guess-
5 here.
I'm guessing not, because Scott's not here, and he's, since I'm acting as prosecutor, Scott would be your advisor, but if you want to do without the attorney present, that's.
What, I think we could.
But I don't know, is it on the agenda for the closed session?
But,
Yeah, it's at the very
but I think, Marty, don't,
Oh, okay.
I think, isn't the city attorney also gonna just confer with council as to whether or not there's even any possibility for, resolution short of having a hearing? We can always, I think, go into closed session at another time if we truly know we're going forward and with on all 8 cylinders. I mean, we know the problems we have
What
down
I'm saying
there.
is all 5 of us are here. We could spend 3 minutes on it and get an idea of what we're considering, what everybody's considering.
Well, we probably have to adjourn and go to room 128 if we're going to go to closed session.